Welcome back to Narrate Now. The movie begins with a chilling narration from a girl, recalling an unsolved mystery that shook her town 2 years ago. A case so bizarre that even the police were left without a single solid clue. Before we jump in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more twisted stories. Her story starts at Maybrook Elementary School. One morning, Justine, a teacher, walked into her classroom, only to find it completely empty. Every single student had vanished. Every student, except for one boy named Alex. Investigators later discovered something even more disturbing. The night before, at exactly 2:17 a.m., every child from Justine's class had mysteriously woken up, walked out of their homes, crossed their front yards in perfect unison, and disappeared into the night. Not a single one of them ever came back. The police searched everywhere, woods, rivers, abandoned buildings, yet found nothing. Even worse, home surveillance footage showed the exact same eerie detail. All the children leaving at precisely 2:17 a.m. on the dot. When Alex was questioned, he claimed he had no idea where his classmates went, and there had been no plan. Justine herself was equally shocked and devastated. A month later, the school hosted a meeting for the grieving parents. The atmosphere was heavy with anger and despair. Principal Marcus tried to calm everyone, but one parent, Archer, refused to stay silent. He said, "Why only this class? Why only our kids? Someone here knows more than they're saying." He turned directly toward Justine, practically accusing her in front of everyone. Reluctantly, Justine stepped up to speak, but the tension in the room only grew worse. Marcus quickly escorted her out, guiding her to her car and suggesting she take the rest of the day off. Still shaken, Justine stopped at a nearby store, grabbed some alcohol, and as she left, her phone rang. A strange, raspy voice whispered, "Watch your back." She froze, her heart racing, before trying to dismiss it and driving home. That night, as she watched TV, a knock echoed at her door. When she checked, nobody was there. The next day, Marcus suggested she see a psychiatrist, even giving her a list of numbers, and said, "You've been through a lot. Maybe take a step back." But Justine refused. "I need to be here. I need to know what happened to my kids." She asked about Alex, but Marcus revealed he'd been transferred to another class. When she requested to meet him, Marcus firmly denied it. Frustrated, Justine drove to the police station, intending to report the threats. There she spotted her old friend, Officer Paul, and later texted him to meet. At a bar, the two reminisced. Justine confessed, "Some people, they think I'm a witch, that I took those kids." Paul shook his head. "Don't listen to them. Let us handle the investigation. You just try to stay strong." Their conversation grew personal. By the end of the night, they were kissing passionately. The next morning, Justine dropped Paul off at his home. Before leaving, he reminded her, "Stay out of this." But she didn't listen. Watching Alex, she went back to school, secretly followed Alex home, and knocked at his door. No answer. Curious, she circled around, peeking through the window. Inside, she saw Alex's parents sitting on the couch, completely still, not blinking, not moving. Uneasy, she left and called Marcus. Instead of concern, he scolded her and said, "Don't make things worse." Later, while shopping, Justine was suddenly attacked by Paul's furious wife, who shoved her to the ground and demands to know if she made out with Paul. Before it escalated further, a bystander pulled her away. Shaken, Justine returned home. That night, she had a vivid nightmare and struggled to sleep. The next morning, she tried speaking to Alex again, but he ran back inside. Determined, Justine waited in her car across the street. Hours passed. The street fell silent. Exhausted, she drifted off to sleep. At midnight, an old woman emerged from Alex's house. She slowly crossed the street with a knife in hand. Without a sound, she opened Justine's back door, cut a lock of her hair, then vanished into the night. Meanwhile, Archer was obsessing over the case, re-watching old security footage. He was convinced Justine had something to do with it. At the police station, he demanded they investigate her, but the chief refused. That night, Archer had a nightmare of a witch stealing the children and woke drenched in sweat. The next morning, he tried a new strategy, mapping cell towers used during the night of the disappearances. Following the signals, he visited homes, asking for old surveillance footage. One man finally agreed, giving him a crucial lead. But when Archer left, he ran into Justine. The two argued bitterly. Their fight was interrupted when Marcus suddenly sprinted toward them, moving eerily like the possessed children. He lunged at Justine, trying to kill her. Archer stepped in, fighting Marcus off. Meanwhile, Paul caught a local drug addict named James breaking into a house. After a chase, he cuffed him, finding a strange drug on him. James cut Paul with it during the struggle, but Paul overpowered him. Instead of pressing charges, he released him with a threat. Later, James wandered into Alex's house. Inside, he saw Alex's parents, sitting motionless. Down in the basement, he discovered the unthinkable, all the missing children. Terrified, he slipped out. Tempted by a reward poster, James went to the police station to report it. But when he saw Paul, he panicked, thinking Paul was there to silence him. He fled. That night, Paul tracked James down. In desperation, James blurted out, "I saw them. The kids. They're in that house." Paul agreed to follow him, but hours later, Paul returned, not as himself. Under some dark influence, he dragged James back inside. Soon, everything pointed back to one person, Aunt Gladys. She had been living with Alex's family, controlling his parents, and preparing rituals. At exactly 2:17 a.m., she had used witchcraft to lure all of Alex's classmates to the house. Once inside, she bound them with her dark magic. Justine and Archer eventually discovered the truth and stormed the house. Inside, they found Paul and others under Gladys's control. A brutal fight broke out. Meanwhile, Alex, terrified, hid upstairs as his parents, still possessed, attacked him. Finally, he gathered courage. Using Gladys's own ritual book, Alex turned her magic against her. One by one, the children turned on Gladys, swarming her. The witch was overpowered, and with her defeat, the spell shattered. The children were free. The missing classmates finally returned. And that's how the movie ends. The terrifying mystery of Maybrook was solved thanks to Alex's bravery. That's the full recap. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more twisted stories.